time, and we've got a lot of these folks that haven't showed up yet. They may or may not, but Carl Cooper is not here. Devon is not here. Brooke, it's not like Brooke. Tony's not here. Fraser made it. Marcus not here. Natasha's here. Amy's here. Jeff is not here. RJ's not here. Okay, Alicia and Antonio are here. So 6 out of, I guess we got 12 in class now. Um, of course, 3 of these guys on the baseball team, they gave me a list of games, but those games don't start until February. So they're not at a game. Been too much winter for a baseball game anyway. Okay, folks, we've got a couple of problems we need to look at. Amy, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I asked them to bring the problems to class. Antonio's just starting class. You were absent from class. So let's look at those problems. Alicia, what 2 problems did I assign chapter 11?
1A and 2A.
1A and 2A. Is that the 2 I asked you to bring to class?
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you have trouble with these problems, I mean, if they're on the solutions or on Moodle, and these 2 problems are a must. So Antonio, when you get settled down, try to work 1B and 2B problems. Okay, the first one here, we purchased merchandise on account from Lane Company, 240,000 terms in 30. All right, that's net 30. Well, when we purchase merchandise, what do we debit, Amy? What do you
Merchandise inventory,
and credit?
accounts payable, Lane Company.
All right, that's just a generic entry from last semester. And then we go down to, we issued a 30-day 4% note for 240,000. We can't pay our accounts payable on time, so we're trading a note for it. All right. So, Alicia, what would you debit on that one?
Is that February 9th?
Mm-hmm.
Accounts payable, Lane Company for 240,000 and notes payable for 240,000.
Oh boy, I've got one of those solutions that is screwed up. It's got debit merchandise inventory, credit accounts payable. You can see that entry clearly. Then you get down on February the 9th, it's got another one overlapping here. But you debit accounts payable and credit notes payable for 240,000. Okay, so that was just putting a note on the books. And then we go on down, we paid the amount owed on the note. Now, when we pay that amount, Fraser, we're going to pay 4% interest for 30 days. So what would be your entry?
Debit notes payable and interest expense.
How much was your interest expense?
Well, for some reason, I did the wrong problem, so my numbers are different, but my entries are the same.
Oh,
So,
okay. Anyway, notes payable is in here somewhere. Debit 240 and debit. Well, wait a minute.
Interest expense, 800.
Is it?
$800.
I can't find it here. It's messed up. How much is it?
$800.
All right, so here it is. They've got interest payable, but it should be interest expense. And then credit 240,800 cash. All right. And then we borrowed 160,000 from a bank issuing a note. Well, when we borrowed money, so I believe it's RJ, what do we debit when we borrowed money? It's RJ, right? We debit cash. And we will credit notes payable somewhere. How much did we borrow? Well, I thought this was gonna be straightened out, but it's not. But the interest clear on that one, debit cash and credit notes payable for 160,000. All right, there's two ways we can get a note on the books already. One, we trade accounts payable for a note. One, we borrowed cash for on a note, and we could buy equipment or whatever on a note. All right, we purchased tools by issuing a note. Here we go. We bought something, issuing a note. Letitia, what would you do with that one?
I guess you would first come up with, cause it's discounted.
Oh, was it discounted?
Are we on June 1st?
Discounted the note at a rate of 5%. Yeah.
Right.
Discounted, what does discounted mean?
It means you take, that 5%, take the 180 times 5% times 60 days divided by 360, and you come up with that discounted note, and you subtract it from what you, the note.
Right.
And you come up with, what you actually get.
Right, and what do you debit for that though?
You debit the tools for,
You got 178.5?
500, yeah.
Okay, you can see it in here if you look hard enough.
And
Tools, debit
Discounted
178.5.
1,500,
And you're gonna debit interest expense for how much?
1,500.
Alright, and then you're gonna credit notes payable for 180?
180.
Okay. Discounted means you take interest out up front. Okay, y'all done good so far. Now we're gonna pay the tablet note, that was the bank. The interest due on the note, and renewed the loan by issuing a new note, 7% for 160,000. All right, all we're doing is paying the interest on this note. So what would we debit?
Notes payable.
We got to debit. You know, you really got to debit notes payable for 160,000, and you got to credit notes payable for 160,000 because it's a new note. But you got to debit interest expense for how much?
1,000.
And you got to credit what for the 1,000?
Cash.
Cash. You paid it. Okay. So you took one note off, put another note on, you paid the interest on the old note. All right. And then we paid Tabitha amount due on that note. And that's just going to debit what? Notes payable for 100 what?
60.
What was the interest expense?
1,400.
So I have no idea. This is so screwed up. The notes and the two problems, it's bad. But, and you credit cash for how much?
161.4.
161.4. Okay. The solutions in Moodle don't look like this, do they? I hope not. I could have brought up, I guess, the solutions in Moodle, and they'd look better than this mess. Okay? But it's the same solutions. I transferred them over to Moodle from, don't understand it. All right, now we paid this company for the amount due on the note of June the 1st. How much did we borrow from Gabala Company? That was 180, wasn't it? Now this note was a discounted note, so we only have to debit notes payable for 180 and credit what?
Cash.
for 180, because interest was already recorded, right? All right, then we purchased office equipment from Warwick Company for 400, paying 100 and issuing a series of 10 5% notes for 30,000 each, coming due 30 days apart. All right, so you got to debit office equipment for how much?
400,000,
And your credit cash for how much?
300,000, or 100,000, sorry.
Now, you do not have to credit those notes individually, so we credit notes payable for how much?
300.
300. Takes care of that then, don't it? All right. We settled a product warranty lawsuit with a customer for $260,000, payable in January. O'Connell accrued the loss in litigation claims payable account. Settled a product warrant liability. Now, over time, companies have gotten sued. McDonald's got sued over what?
Hot cup of
Coffee was too hot. Somebody got burned. Now they gotta pour water on it. Firestone got tired because their tires blew out on SUVs. Ford got sued. They had a Pinto at one time. If you hit the rear end, it'd catch on fire. Did somebody sue McDonald's for getting fat on their food?
Yep.
And how about cigarette companies? They've had a lot of lawsuits. Smokers dying of cancer. States have sued them. I don't know who else sued cigarette companies. But that's their choice though, isn't it? To smoke, to eat a lot of hamburgers, French fries, and gain weight. Okay, so we know these things happen in the real world. Okay, so we settled that suit. So what do we do with the 260? Debit what?
litigation loss,
Litigation loss and credit
litigation claims payable.
the payable. Litigation claims payable. All right. Now we paid the amount on the first note in the series issued on December 1st. Now, there was how much of a note was it? 30,000? Just a $30,000 note for 30 days. What's the interest on a $30,000 note for 30 days?
125.
So you're going to debit notes payable for 30, debit interest expense for 125, and credit cash for 30,125, right? Okay, now, how many days will the next note have on it? The next note you'll have interest for how many days? 60. And the next note, 90. And the next note, 120, and so on. So, they're paid every 30 days, right? So we don't have to go by months or anything like that. It's gotta go by days. No matter how many days the months have in them. Now, back when we did notes, we looked at the days in the months. And Alicia, you'll remember this answer.
I know what you're.
This year is leap year, right? So how many months have 29 days in them? Every one of them. Okay. Didn't I catch you on that
Yep.
last semester?
Yep.
It said February.
Yep.
But anyway, only February has 29 days. Okay. Spin, Tony. All right, so much for that problem. Now, folks, you're going to have interest on a note, and you're going to have discount interest on a note. let me bring up WordPad. One last thing on notes before we start another chapter. And then we'll look at payroll and we'll try to look at a couple of warranty issues. All right, just make the journal entry for this note. You borrowed $100,000. Write down the journal entry for this note at 8% for 90 days. Make the journal entry for that note. You borrowed that money from the bank. Very easy journal entry. Everybody should practice with us. Come in, Carl Cooper. Carl usually has perfect attendance, but he also has perfect tardy. All right, what did you debit, folks? What'd you debit? You borrowed $100,000 from the bank. What'd you debit? What? What? You borrowed?
Cash.
You debit cash. And what do you credit?
That's payable.
No, it's payable. All right. Now this was an interest-bearing note. I'm going to change it to a discounted note. Now, with a discounted note, make that journal entry. Make that journal entry if the note is discounted. Fraser, have you heard from Devon? It's not like him to miss 2 days in a row unless he's sick.
He's at a funeral,
At a funeral?
not anywhere. I think he said he's in Florida or something like that.
Is he out of town?
Yeah.
All right, you debit cash for how much? What do you debit cash for?
100,000.
No,
Is it 102,000?
no,
It's 98.
98,000?
yes. All right, they take interest out up front. They take interest out of your loan. So you find the interest 2,000, yes. You subtract it, yes. Add it, no. So subtract 2,000, you got 98. And what do you debit for the 2,000?
Interest expense.
Interest expense. And what do you credit for the 100?
That's payable.
All right, know that about notes and you'll be okay. So most of this chapter's on payroll. Now let's look at payroll. Okay, we've got salaries, sales, salaries, warehouse, office. We've got deductions. We've got tax rates assumed, Social Security, state unemployment, federal unemployment, and Medicare. Assuming that the payroll for last week of the year is to be paid on December 31st, journalize the following entries. December the 30th to record the payroll. Now this is 2 important entries I want you to get on payroll. Now I probably don't have them up here where they make sense with all that strike over stuff that we saw. But it's problem 2A. Alright, you should be debiting, it's here somewhere. Sales salary expense, 402, warehouse salary expense, 210.
Yep.
And
Office salary.
office salary expense, 165. Now over here is all your taxes. Social Security tax payable, 46,620. Medicare tax payable, 11,655. Retirement savings payable, 17,094. Was there anything else? Was there any other payables?
Group insurance.
How much?
Group insurance.
Alright. Now, Amy, you got yours from German paper? Should I borrow yours? This is a mess up here. So let me go to Almo. I like Elmo. All the rooms don't have it. And this is the only room I use. But I think all the rooms should have it. I think Coach Hunter likes it and Dr. Sneed. Some of these Elmos are taller. Some are shorter. But see if I can blow Amy up here a little bit. All right. All right, here is a better picture of the entry than the mess I had on the computer. All right, you credit and you don't have to put employee there now. That should be federal income tax payable. All right, Social Security tax payable, Medicare tax payable, retirement savings payable. There was a group insurance payable, and the difference is salaries payable. That's what you write the checks out for. 551, what heck? And then we've got to record the employer's taxes. This is the two entries, 100% for sure you will have on your first page. All right, here's the other entry. The entry on the employer payroll tax expense. And the Medicare and Social Security are the same. State unemployment, I think they give you 5.4. Federal, they gave you 0.6, which is decimal 006. Fellas, I know the three things has this. And freight. You got these, Carl? You got this entry? Okay. All of you should have it. Okay. Now, the next set of entries on the same problem, which Amy also has, the question was, assuming that the payroll for the last week of the year is to be paid on January the 5th of the following year, do the entry on December 30th to accrue the payroll. Well, what changes? What changes?
The payroll tax expense at the bottom, I believe, is what, the only thing that changes. Everything else, I think, the same.
Did this entry stay identical, Amy?
I believe so, yes.
The first one did? Now, why did this one change? If I can get it. All right, why did that one change? Medicare and Social Security are the same. All right, why did it change? Should tell you. record the employer's payroll taxes on the payroll to be paid on January 5th because it is a new fiscal year. All salaries are subject to unemployment taxes. So you multiplied those percents by the whole salaries, didn't you? All salaries. But in the first entry, it said of the total payroll for the last week, only 40,000 is subject to federal and state unemployment, right? Now, once an employee in most states, it's $7,000. Once they made 7,000, you don't have to pay federal, state unemployment anymore. And some maybe 8,000. So with that 7,000 or 8,000 is usually the upper limit. So if an employee made 8,000 a month, you pay your FUTA and SUTA on him the first month, and you don't have to pay it the rest of it. All right, and Letitia, you didn't draw unemployment because you just took another job, right? What are some reasons you could draw unemployment in the state of West Virginia, ain't it?
You're laid off.
You laid off, that's the best reason. That will get you unemployment 100% of the time. What's your fired?
There's usually a hearing to see if there's a
Now, we did hear it. What if you were sexually harassed at work and you got fired? Because you were not open for being sexually harassed. What if you got fired for sexual harassment? You would prove it, you would draw unemployment comp. Okay? Or if you were discriminated against in any way and you got fired, if you could prove it, you would draw unemployment comp. So it's not just always laid off, is the point I want to make. All right. Know those two entries for test purposes. Thanks, Miss Amy. We're going to start a little bit today on partnerships. So Antonio, I challenge you to catch up on Cengage, catch up on working problems 1B and 2B, and so on. But before we start partnerships, I've got to look at a product warranty. Now, there's a product warranty problem on Cengage that somebody may have trouble with. I don't know if there is a good product warranty problem. There is not a good problem on product warranty, but there are some exercises. Let's go back to page 370. And let's look at exercise 17, 18, 20, and 21. This may help. Now, you may have a contingent liability. You all should look at 23, whether we get to it today or not. So we're going to look at a couple of these exercises. Vacation pay. All right, the estimated amount of current year's vacation pay is $54,000. We should only have to debit what for that? Vacation pay that you're responsible for, it's a current liability. What do you think you would debit for that? Vacation pay expense, debit, credit, vacation pay payable. Should take care of it. 17. All right, these are in good shape. All right, so vacation pay is no biggie, okay? Now, looking at pension plans payable, you want to put aside $365,000 for the quarter. What was the debit? On number 18 or number 18, what was your debit? Anybody? pension expense, credit pension payable. Should take care of it. Pension expense debit, but now pensions payable, that's a pension liability, it could very well be payable. They say unfunded pension liability, that is your cost, and that is your initial entry. And when you put that in the pension plan, then you credit cash. Some companies will use pension plan payable or pension payable or pension liability payable. All right, you're responsible for it. You put it in some kind of trust, probably. A lot of these companies got in trouble, and the employees, a lot of them lost their pension. They could not pay this pension, even though it's on the books. Don't mean they can pay it if they go bankrupt, does it? But most pensions are protected. Our pension at Bluefield State depends on the stock market. We've got a choice what to put it in. Okay. Okay, Jeffrey, I'm gonna count you half present. All right, let's skip on down to number 20. Now this company warranties its product for a year. The estimated product warranty is 2.5% of sales, which was 600,000. In February, a customer received warranty repairs. Now this is the easy warranty expense. What would you debit? First off, multiply 2.5% of 600,000. Come up.
15,000.
All right. We debit product warranty expense and credit payable. So all three of these: vacation expense, vacation payable; pension expense debit, pension payable credit; product warranty expense debit, product warranty payable credit. So forth, they're all recorded the same, aren't they? They're current liabilities. Now, when a customer makes a claim, all right, and it's product warranty payable, we'll take it out of this 15,000, and 200 of it's supplies and 110 of it's labor. Usually, if you have something on a test, it'll be no more rougher than this. Now on Cengage, you got into one there, you had to figure out the first year's warranty and the second year's warranty got a little more complicated. Chapter 12 is on partnerships, and we talked 2 minutes, I think, the other day about it. We were talking about marriage being a partnership. Partnerships are probably, in different courses. We had an intro to business course, or marketing course, or econ course, accounting course. You got the three forms of ownership: proprietorship, partnership, corporation. We have studied proprietorship. Now we've got one chapter only on partnership. The biggest thing about partnerships is splitting up their salary, number one, omitting a partner in, or letting a partner go, or partner dies, or dissolving a partnership. That's what this chapter is about. Uh, but if we were looking at characteristics of a proprietorship, it's easy to start. It's one owner, you get all the profits, but you take all the losses. A partnership, a disagreement is the biggest disadvantage of a partnership. Disagreement. That's why you should have everything spelled out real well in the articles of partnership. Uh, but some advantage of a partnership is you've got more skills. A lot of coal operators in Southwest Virginia, you know, they take in a partnership. You may have an attorney, you may have somebody do the mining business real well, uh, maybe a superintendent, you may have an accountant, you may, these three people, a lawyer, an accountant, and a good mining man might go into partners in the mining business. And that's happened a lot. But two lawyers may go into partnership, okay? Two doctors may go into a partnership. Did I watch Bull? Anybody ever watch Bull on TV? You do, Amy? No? It's a lawyer thing, okay?
I don't watch any video, so.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, his name is Bull. Okay, now looking at a partnership, and we also, lately, we've got into an LLC, a limited liability company, that will protect you. Now, a partnership and a proprietorship, you can lose your shirt. You can lose your personal assets, home, car. Corporation, you cannot. Bad thing about a partnership, too, one partner can go make a dent in your business and leave the country. Or one partner probably can wipe out the bank account and leave. So, if you're ever in a partnership, you should have your partner bonded. Bonded means insurance. If that partner embezzles from you, then the insurance company has to pay you back. So, banks, I think they have their employees bonded in case they embezzle from the bank. Have you heard that word before? The employee has to be bonded? Amy, did you hear that in one of the courses up here?
No.
Some of the courses are lacking some information. We'll get to corporation, chapter 13. Proprietorship is owned by one person. These professional certified buyers, lawyers, architects, realtors, doctors, accountants. A proprietorship, there's no legal restrictions or forms to file. The owner is liable. Proprietorship is not taxable, but it goes over to the owner and he is taxed. Limited life. If proprietor dies, the proprietorship is dead. Might leave it to somebody. Limited ability to raise capital. One person can't raise as much money. A partnership is two or more, of course. And I referred to as a marriage as a partnership. It should be. Even in religions where you can have more than one wife, you've got just more than two partners in marriage. All right, a partnership is not taxable. They do have that limited liability, no limitation on legal liability. So I would call it unlimited liability. And it's not taxable, but the partners are taxed personally. If a partner dies, it is no more. You may take another person in as a partner, but you should write up new agreements. Limited ability to raise funds. Now, you co-ownership of the property. Each partner is an agent. Now, this makes it bad. One partner can, make a debt in your name. Now, net income, we'll decide on that. Now, this is a legal form of entity that provides limited liability to its owners, but treated as a partnership for tax purposes. So the LLC organization form is popular for small business. limited legal liability is your biggest advantage. Now here's a partner, an individual. Joseph wants to be partners with Earl. They have two hardware stores. They want to combine their assets. Stephen's going to contribute cash, accounts receivable, inventory, store equipment, office equipment. Say allowance for doubtful accounts is 15 and accounts payable. Now, you would not use this value on the store equipment, you'd use the appraised value. Same with inventory. You might buy it cheaper. Accounts receivable, you might up the bad debts on the end. Alright, office equipment, fair market value. Now, they may have taken everything in as it is, store equipment, what, 2,500 or 5,400? They took everything as it is. But this should be the fair market value, not the book value. Fair market value, not the book value. Alright, so here we got one partner ready to go. We debit cash, accounts receivable, merchandise inventory, store equipment, office equipment. We credit his allowance, his accounts payable. He's got capital now, 56,000 is this new partnership. The easiest way to form a partnership is for both partners to put in cash, isn't it? This would be the same entry if it's an LLC, but you would credit Joseph Stevens member equity. Only difference. Now, Reeves contributed equipment, inventory, and cash. We debit cash, inventory, equipment, notes payable that this company will assume, and he's got capital of 66,000. Income of a partner are divided in different ways. Services of the partner. Services and investment of the partner. All right. We're going to look at some ways to divide income. And I hope you please follow me because this will come back and back and back again. All right, if there's no agreement, number one, equal. All right, partners A and B share equal. Now, if they were going to split 100,000 net income, how much would they get a piece? 50 apiece. You debit income summary. All right, 100,000, and you will credit each partner's capital 100. I mean 50. All right, equal. Now number two, for partner A and B, shares in a 3-to-2 ratio. Out of that 100,000, how much does partner A receive? How much does partner A receive? Three to two. I told you ratios, decimals, percents.
60,000.
How much?
60,000.
One receives 60, and the other receives 40. Because Alicia did this. 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. 3/5 of 100, and 2/5 of 100 will give you her answers of 60 and 40. All right, now here I gave you capital A 100,000. B has capital of 150. Now they're going to share on the ratio of their capital investments. They're going to share according to capital investment. Capital investment ratio. Do that as a fraction or as a percent. All right, what is the fraction or what is the percent? What percent is it? What percent does A get? If you add these two together, what do you get?
250.
If you divide 250 into 100, what do you get?
40%.
40%, right? That'd be 40,000 and 60,000. Didn't mean for that to be exactly reversed, but it is. All right. Now I can put 100 over 250. I can divide and I can get what percent? What? 40? Or I can reduce it and I get what fraction? 2/5? 2 over 5 is 40%, isn't it? 40% is decimal 40. That ratio is actually 2 to 3. Ratios, fractions, decimals, percent are the identical same. All right, keep their capital in mind. I'm going to have to go up here to a situation 4. Situation 4. A gets interest on his capital. No, both partners get interest of 10% on their investment. And the remainder equal. Now, find how much of that 100 I give to A and how much of that 100 I give to B. They get 10% interest on their capital investment. They share the remainder of that 100,000 equal. All right, I would do this one something like this. How much interest do I give? How much interest do I give A? How much interest does A get? 10% of his investment is how much? How much interest does B get? How much? What's 10% of 150?
Okay, I was looking at the 250, I'm sorry.
All right, now that's how much? How much is 10 and 15? 25. How much does that leave?
75.
How much? 75. How'd I say to split that? Equal. What's half of 75?
37.5.
Should make this equal horizontal and vertical. Okay. Remember the capital here. Situation 5. You got to remember this capital. Jot it down somewhere. I want you to split this income with A and B. I want you to give them 10% interest on their investment. I want you to give a salary to A of 10,000 and give B 12,000. And I want you to split the remainder equal. Now you're going to have 3. I've already split this for you, salary. Now give them interest on their investment, split the remainder equal. How much interest do we give A and B? That's equal to 25. Now 25 and 25 adds up to how much? No, wait a minute. Salary 10 and 12 don't add up to 25, it adds up to 22, don't it? So what does 25 and 22 add up to? This bottom down here has to add up to 100. So how much do I have left to make that add up to 100? 25 and 22, how much would that be? 50 what? How much is left after you give out 25 and after you give out 22? 50 what? 3. How did I say split to 53? Equal? All right, what's half of 53?
26.5.
I want you to add this up. I want that to equal vertical and horizontal. It already equals vertical. Now, this is 26, 36, 46, 5. And this one over here gets how much? 50. Add those up, should be 53 what? Now does 46.5, 53.5 add up to 100? I want it to equal vertical and horizontal. That work, Alicia? I hope you jotted this down, because I'm going to remember in your language. I'm going to check to see what you learned. In my language, I'll check and see what you have learned. Okay? All right. I'm going to give you two partners. Brooke's not here, so Alicia, we will not start another massage parlor. All right, this is partners B and R. Their capital is $200,000 and $250,000. That's their capital. Now the net income is $500,000. You want to give this $500,000 to the two partners. Number one, I want you to give them 10% interest on their investment. Number two, I want you to give them a salary of $50,000 and $100,000. And number three, divide the remainder equal. Now that's just like the one I gave you. Okay, how much interest does B get? 20. That's easy enough. How much interest does R get? 25. Easy enough. Okay, that's 45 if you add them up. And this is 150 if you add it up. So what is 45 and 150? 195. That leaves how much? 305, right? And you split that equal. How much is equal? 150.
152,500.
See, there's various ways to allocate profits to partners. B was Batman and R was Robin. You just worked out their salaries. for their latest TV show. All right. Now, I mentioned time the other day. What ratio would we have if Amy and Alicia started a business and Amy only worked a third as much time as Alicia? What would that ratio be? Amy worked 1/3 as much time as Alicia. What would that ratio be?
3 and
What?
3 and
3 and 1?
3.
That was quick. And that does add up to 4, don't it? 1/4, 3/4. That's 3 times as much as the other one. Alicia caught that real quick. Okay, for Tuesday's assignment, read chapter 12. Work the first 4 exercises, chapter 12. Please have Cengage chapter 11 100% complete. If you don't, folks, I'm going to have to put due dates on those. When I put due dates on them, I would have put the due date today on chapter 11. Amy would have got 15 on that chapter. Alicia would have got 100. Letitia would have got 98. And what would you got if I cut it off today, Fraser?
Probably an 8.
Probably an 80. Antonio hadn't started, he'd probably get a 0 if I had to cut it off today. So I don't want to put dates on them, folks. Try to have 11 finished by Tuesday. Start 12 if you can. Have a good weekend.
Kept doing the same one I was thinking, man, this is crazy. I don't know